Hi everyone, and welcome to Creative Chelsey. Today I'm excited to share with you my second alternative cards using the February 2023 paper pumpkin kit called Sunshine and Smiles. This fun kit creates 9 springtime handmade cards. These are the intended cards that you can make with the kit. There are enough supplies to make 3 of each card. I love the bright, fun colors and super cute characters that come in this kit. If you would like to watch me unbox the kit and create these cards, you can click on the playlist up here in the top right corner. Each month I take the contents from the paper pumpkin kit and make alternative cards. Today I am sharing with you another 2 cards that I created from this kit. The first card creates a diorama with 3 different layers. Then my second card uses the opening as a template to create a cute pond scene. Don't miss out on next month's kit. It will be the 10th anniversary of Paper Pumpkin, and they are celebrating by giving every box a fun gift. Here is a little sneak peek at the colors and some of the images that will be part of this kit. It will include everything you need to make 9 cards, 3 in 3 different designs. Make sure to subscribe by March 10th using the link in the description box below. If you are new to my channel and would like to continue to see all of my paper pumpkin alternatives, make sure to subscribe using the link in the bottom right corner. The first thing we're going to do to create these cards is separate the front from the back on one of the card bases from the kit. And this is the blue plaid card base. And it has the cute rainfall pattern on the inside. And you're going to cut it at 4 1/4. So we're going to save that frame piece, and then this piece, which is the rain, we are going to cut in half at 2 3/4. So we have 2 pieces that are 2 3/4 by 4 1/4 inches. So then we're going to take the front of our card base, and I'm going to remove just a little bit from each side. So I'm going to take, let's just remove 1/8 of an inch from each side, and this is going to make it just a little bit smaller so that it fits inside the gray piece, and I'll show you that in just a minute. So just a little, like 1/8 of an inch on all sides. So our final dimension will be 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. So the next step we need to do is actually for card number 2, and we have to trace this shape onto some balmy blue cardstock, and this can be any piece of scratch paper that's large enough to fit inside this opening. So I'm going to flip over. This is the gray piece, so it's a little smaller than the frame from the card base. And just take a pencil and you're just going to trace this outside edge. Just like that. And now we can use this piece for our first card, and I'm going to put this aside for the second card. So to create this diorama, we're going to work backwards. So I'm going to place the raindrop piece on my work surface first, flip over the gray piece, and add a couple dimensionals to hold this piece in place. And I'm kind of focusing on the areas that are closer to the center than where they are near the edge, so that it can grab a hold of the small piece here and pick that up. So you can see that that piece is now adhered in place. Then next I'm going to actually take, do you remember these hill pieces that we had left over from my first projects? We're going to use these next. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one of these pieces and I'm going to add it to the bottom of this piece. So it can be either way. So you can choose to have it go this way with this kind of this wider or this deeper opening here at the bottom, but I liked it with that opening near the top. And so this one has kind of this, it's like a double at the bottom and it's not quite so deep. So that's the way I'm going to do it. So make sure that when you add your raindrops that you do it in this direction so that it's got that double one at the bottom. Sorry, I should have mentioned that at the beginning. So I'm going to take this piece here and I'm going to add a dimensional here in this little dip, okay, at the bottom. And then possibly one over here on this side so that it can hold onto the hill. So I'm going to take that hill and I just want to make sure that it's covered, that it looks like it's covering. It doesn't really matter the direction it goes. So like this one went more flat, okay? But we have lots of pieces so we can make it look however we want. Okay, so that just must have meant that I had more space there. And then you're going to take and cut this close to that dimensional. Make sure that it isn't showing. And then you can use these other pieces to kind of fill in and create more depth in the background. I think I'm going to add this one here to kind of fill that in just a little bit. Maybe I'll flip it over. Something like that. So I'm going to add a little glue dot probably, or maybe just some liquid glue here to hold this piece in place. There we go. So it's kind of fun to kind of just build this diorama however you want it to look. Okay, then make sure you trim off any extra parts that might be showing past the edge of your frame. So now I'm going to add some more dimensionals to the inside, and this is going to go over the gray piece now. So then we're going to take that front piece and we'll lay it over the gray piece. And we cut down the front piece, do you remember? So there'll be just a little bit of the gray peeking out on each side. So you can see that there's just a little hint of gray on all sides. So then we're going to take that last hill piece, and if you want, you can slide it in, and this is going to get attached to the back. Okay, so just make sure that it's going to fit nicely in there, especially since we've added those dimensionals. There's a chance that it might have a hard time fitting, but I think I'm going to get mine to work just fine. Okay, so if you want to add that piece, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. What I like about it is that it does give just another level of depth to your card. And I'm just going to slide it in. There we go. So you can see how that provides more depth. So now we get to decorate the diorama with the cute characters and images that come in the kit. So I'm going to begin with 2 clouds, and I also want the umbrella and the cute little duck. So I'm going to take one of the dimensionals, and I'm going to pop that here on the gray piece. And that is going to be where I can add my little duck. And he's looking up at the sky because it's going to start raining soon. So then I'm going to take another dimensional and add the umbrella. And I will also probably add a little dot of glue at the handle. I'm going to wipe off a little bit so that it attaches to his hand. So I'm only using one dimensional for the umbrella, but if you would like to add a second one so it's on the same level as the duck, you can do that. And then I've got my greeting, and that's going to go right across near the top of the umbrella. It's going to barely fit on the sides, so we need to make sure that we support it here in the center. So I'm going to do that by taking a dimensional. Actually, I'm going to take 2 dimensionals and put them together. And that's going to give me that double height that I need. And then I'm going to cut them in half and add them to the back of my greeting. Now I've already stamped my greeting in Friends in Any Kind of Weather, and I've stamped it with the Memento Black ink. So you want to add those dimensionals near the center, and then if you want to add a little adhesive to the ends, you can do that too. And that just goes straight across your card like that. Super cute. And then the last thing we're going to add are our clouds. So I'm going to take a little adhesive on one and tuck that near the top here. And that just gets adhered to the gray background. And then this one, I'm going to add, I think I'm going to add 2 dimensionals on top of each other so that it's nice and tall. And we'll tuck that underneath this greeting, just right on top of that greeting. So I'm going to add this card front to a card base of basic gray. And just make sure that when you add it that you're supporting the levels. So we need to add a dimensional to this outside edge, and then this inside part you can just add with regular adhesive. And it should just go right in the center of your card. There'll be a slight little border of that dark basic gray card base all the way around. And your card is all done. You will probably want to include a basic white piece of cardstock so that you can write a greeting on the inside of your card. But that's how you create this really cute diorama card front. So next we're going to do card number 2. I've already traced that shape, so let's go ahead and cut it out. So it doesn't need to be perfect. You don't need to follow along the lines exactly. And actually, if you make it just a little bit smaller, it will probably work a little bit better. So you just want the general shape of this pond. And then just make sure you really smooth out that last cut. So you'll get something like this. Then for our frogs, because I already used up the frogs from the die cuts, I'm going to stamp some frogs. And I'm going to stamp them in Memento Black ink so that I can use my Stampin' Blend markers to color them in. So 2 cute little frogs there. Then I also wanted some little lily pads for them to sit on. However, there was not a lily pad stamp. So what I did is I took my frog, I've cleaned it, and then I'm going to flip it over so that I can stamp this flat back shape. And I'm going to do that in Old Olive, and I'm going to do a first and a second generation on this image. So we just do one and then do a second one so that you get a light and a dark. And it gives you this really fun shape, and we can make that look like a lily pad. So next, let's go ahead and color in our frogs. I am going to start with a little bit of the dark old olive color, and I'm just going to add a little touch of shadow along the kind of the head, maybe around the neck, the top between the eyes. We'll do a little bit down by the arms and along the feet and legs. And I'm just tapping in a little bit of color so that when I bring in the light old olive, it will blend in nicely. So with the light old olive, I'm going to use the fine tip as well. So on their tummies, I just copied the die cuts. And so I'm going to use Light Daffodil Delight and add just a little touch of color on the tummy. And then with the color lifter, you can blend that out just a little bit. But you want to make sure that you stay just inside so that it doesn't go onto the green. And that just lightens it up just a little bit. And you'll get something like this. And you could also use other coloring tools like watercolor pencils, things like that. So if you were able to get this Sunshine and Smiles dies, this was an add-on, and you could purchase them before the kit was available. If you were not able to get these dies because they have sold out, you can just fussy cut. And I'm just going to use my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine to cut these little frogs out. And I probably could also use them to cut out the lily pads, but I am going to just hand cut that because I like having a little bit of border, and I don't think I would get that with the die cuts. So I'm just going to fussy cut these out. It can be pretty quickly done, and I do want just a little white border along the edge. Okay, so now I am ready to make my little pond scene. So I want my frogs to be popped up off the lily pad. So I'm going to add a dimensional to the back of each frog. And then I'm going to just pick up a lily pad and just kind of figure out what I think looks best. So I'm just going to pop it on to my lily pad. So there's this little pointy area on this that I kind of want to hide behind my frog. So I'm going to take that kind of that pointy part and just cover it up with my frog. And I think that creates a nice looking lily pad. So those are ready. So let's go ahead and add these to our pond. I did want to add a little bit more depth to my water, and so I pulled in one of my blending brushes and some balmy blue ink, and you're just going to create a little more depth by going around your pond with a little bit of ink and your blending brush. So just blend in a little darker color just along the edge. You can leave the center untouched. So then you take your pond and your greeting. Now for my first greeting, I used Friend in Any Kind of Weather, but I ran out of those labels. So I'm going to use the You Brighten My Day, and I'm going to pop that up with some dimensionals. And that goes near the bottom of my pond. And I'm going to keep it kind of to the right. So maybe something like this. And it doesn't have to look just like mine. Then I'm going to take a little bit of liquid glue and I'm going to add it to the back of my lily pads. and kind of add that near my greeting. So the darker lily pad at the bottom and the lighter one near the top. Maybe something like this. Then I'm going to take my flowers, and these are the larger ones. Oh no, these ones are the smaller ones. So I'm going to use the smaller of the two flowers here, and I'm going to separate them just like I did for my first alternative projects. So you'll want to also kind of fussy cut to make it look like it's seamless and that you didn't separate these two. That one looks okay. I'll just bring it in just a little bit more there. And then we'll pop those up with dimensionals as well. So take your dimensional, cut it in half, and add that. And you'll pop those up, place those near the greeting, or you can place it above a lily pad since the greeting doesn't quite go all the way across. So maybe something like that. So you'll take your card base, and I'm just using thick basic white cardstock, and you're going to add your pattern paper, and this is the checkered blue, and it's the same as the raindrops. So I liked it with the checkered blue on the top, so place that in the center of your card base, and then I did pop this up with dimensionals as well. So just add a couple there on the sides and place that in the bottom left corner. And then you can add some linen thread if you'd like. You can do a faux bow. I think that's probably what I'm going to do. So grab a glue dot, and I have 8 or 10 inches of linen thread. Depends on how big you want your bow to be. And place the center on your glue dot and then wrap back and forth to create that faux bow look. And then once you have your bow, you can tuck that underneath your greeting. And press down, and it will stay. Now, if you want to add any of your embellishments that came in the kit, you can do that. There's these really cute water droplets, and those would be cute in the pond or around your greeting. Just to make a little splash. Actually, maybe that would be cute to do like a little splash image. Let's see if we can try that. Oops, stuck on my fingernail. So let's move this one, and we'll do like a little splash. Maybe we'll do another 2 on this side. There we go. So just have some fun with them, and your card is all done. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching me create these cards for my second alternative project ideas. If you're interested in getting your own paper pumpkin kit, you can subscribe using the link in the description box below. If you would like to see written instructions or close-up images on how to create these cards, you can visit my blog, creativechelsey.com. Thanks so much for watching. Have a creative day. Bye.